Okay, so here's what you should look for when you're doing your home inspections. So this is you're at the point now to where you've submitted an offer, and this could be for an investment property or for your residence. You've submitted an offer, you've got to accept it, you're good to go, you're excited. Do these things so that you don't come up short doing your inspection, and after you move in, you realize I missed out on some key things. And you can also use these findings as negotiating points. Most people will like to use or most lenders will require you to use a home inspector. If you, that's fine, but I always like to take it a step further, and I will even bring my own subcontractors in that are skilled in the trades to actually do a deep dive on some of this stuff too. So for instance, I'll have a plumber come and look at all the systems. I'll have my electrician come and so forth and so forth. My roofer, all of them come and just give me their own independent reports of what they think maybe some lifespan is left on some of these systems. But what you should do is, one, get your phone ready as you walk the property, because you usually have, I don't know, 24, 72 hours, something like that, to get all your inspections done. What you want to look for is, number one, when you walk in, window sills. Is there moisture by the window sills? Because that's evidence of, one, a blown window sill, or two, a leak happening at the window. Those are things that I would check for every single window in the house. Now, if some of the windows inside have moisture or condensation, or it's foggy, that's usually a sign that the window is blown. Instead of replacing the whole window, you can actually just replace the glass, and that's like a fraction of the cost. So always look at replacing the glass and not the actual window, because save you some bucks. Another thing I would look at, and also, by the way, you can have like a handyman, just ask them if they know how to replace the glass, or call a local glass company. Would still save you money than replacing the whole entire window. The other thing I would look at is moving out to the exterior. When you're walking the property, look at the foundation. And if you see cracks and hairline fractures in the foundation, you make sure you do a deep dive on that, because it could be evidence of sometimes it's just settling, or if you're in a climate where there's a lot of water, a lot of rainwater and things like that, or it snows a lot, the water can penetrate those cracks, and if you get a freeze, it'll cause the stuff to expand and crack even further, which could compromise your foundation. So I just want to check that. Having foundation issues is not the end of the world. They're all fixable. I know there's a company, this is not a sponsored video at all. I only have like 70 followers, so I don't have any big brand deals coming after me, but Ramjack, I know they specialize in literally they inject this foam into the foundation and lift up the house, and then strap it off, all the good stuff. It's not the end of the world. You can fix it. And the key takeaway is, anything can be fixed. You just need to know the people to do it and understand enough to where you're not getting ripped off. But foundation issues is something you want to look for. I always like to have a pest and dry rot inspection. A lot of places don't do that anymore, but I still like to do it for peace of mind. Especially now living in Atlanta in the South, I highly recommend a pest and dry rot inspection. Some pest control companies will do that for you. You just got to find if they offer that service or not. And so check that out. Please like and subscribe. Just trying to grow the channel. If this information is valuable or helpful to you and helps you think. Moving on. Something else I like to do is I look at the roof. You don't have to get on it, but check the gutters. And you can, most of the gutters have that tray at the bottom where you can pull it out. See if it's clogged. If it's clogged, that's evidence that the homeowner didn't take care of, didn't clean the gutters regularly. And that's something that could cause issues elsewhere with dry rot and things of that nature. So you want to check that. And then the roof, you can see if the shingles or whatever type of roof it is, if it has moss on it, that's something you want to look at too. It just means that, again, you have some deferred maintenance there. And these are all things that could be negotiated before the sale is final. The other thing I look at is for exterior dry rot. Just walk and look at some of the siding pieces on the house, And if it's like a hardy plank or vinyl or something like that, or just wood or, you know, excuse me, whatever the siding is, just look at it and touch it. And you can even use your car key if you have one these days, or any key, and just go around poking it, look for soft points. If there's any soft points, obviously your key will probably go through it. I wouldn't do it in a noticeable area, just a tap. Don't try to, if there is dry rot, don't try to, like, you know, peel it off or anything like that, because you don't technically own the home yet. So I would point it out to the home inspector. And I like to be there when they're there. I also like to be there when all my subcontractors are there, just so I'm talking in real time. I'm recording everything in real time, just so I have all the information, because sometimes this information goes so fast that you forget, you know. So, and that's just a good rule. This is a good tip, a gem. Anytime I'm walking with a subcontractor, I let them know, hey, is it okay if I record this conversation and maybe even do a video, record it with it? Like, you just walk and talk, because it'll help you once the project starts. If something changed, or if they change something, or if you receive their proposal back and their scope of work is different than what you guys had originally talked about and verbally agreed upon. So always take that video, because it's going to help you just keep everyone honest. What else would I look for? I would look for the seals on the door. Make sure those the weather stripping's good and things like that. If you can see daylight, just a good thing to know. I'd also look at the life of the appliances. You could look up the serial number, and it usually has a tag on there. Sometimes it's worn off or whatever, but you could take a picture of it and try to locate it and see what the age, when it was manufactured and stuff like that. I look at the water heater. I open the electrical panel. I don't touch anything, but I just at least open it and see who's the live person that serviced it or whatnot. Those are good tips. The water heater, if there's rust or corrode at the bottom of the water heater, that's usually a good sign. Or usually not a good sign, but usually something you catch, because it just means that the water heater isn't serviced regularly. Most people don't service their water heater. You should be servicing your water heater once a year minimum. Just because the water is in there, you're bathing in your skin. If you have acne and things of that nature, it could be you haven't drained your water heater, you know. And that's just a tip. Even if you're not living in a house or apartment or whatever, you need to be draining your water heater, because the sediment at the bottom, and it gets really gross. So it doesn't take that long. Very easy to do. Again, a handyman can do that, or a plumber can, if they'd even take the job, because it's such a small, easy job. So but those are things that you want to look for. If there's a corrosion at the bottom of the water heater, great sign that, again, some deferred maintenance, meaning, like, one, you can use it as a negotiating point to negotiate the price. All of these things that you find on your inspection can be used as negotiating points, meaning, like, okay, seller, you didn't do all of these things, so I need $10,000 to do X, Y, or Z. And most of the time, not all the time, but sometimes they'll say, okay, I don't want to do it, you do it. And they'll part ways with that 10 grand just to get the deal done. This is a great time to buy, because even though interest rates are high, it's a great time to buy if you can afford the payment. If it's a rental property, if it cash flows after all your expenses, always a good time to buy, my opinion. And I'm not a licensed realtor. I'm not none of this stuff. I've been in real estate for almost 20 years. I've managed commercial buildings, and I've managed large apartment buildings. So I'm just telling you from my point of view, just a random guy here on YouTube. What are some of the other key things that I would look for? If you have steps or a deck or anything like that, always check for dry rot if it's wooden. If it's concrete, look for settling, because you'll see, like, cracks along the seams and, you know, things dropping and settling. Those are always things you want to look for. See if the concrete is still firm or if it's crumbly. The drainage around the property, if you live in an area that gets a lot of rainwater, just something you want to look out for. A great remedy to that is to move that water along. I always like to put river rock around the house when I lived in Oregon. just put some river rock around the house, and you can put some shallow French drains. Again, not hard to do if you're worried about water, and that'll help the water drain and move it away from the property. You always want water moving away from your property. This is why I don't like to private property as the bottom of the hill, because you're dealing with all of that water coming at you. I like to be at the top of the hill, because then the water just runs down. Those are just a few quick tips that I thought of. Oh, I'd also make sure when you walk the properties, you look under the kitchen sink, bathroom sink, anywhere that has water or hose bibs. I would check that. And what you're looking for is leak, corrosions, all those types of things. Get a little flashlight, use your phone as a flashlight, get under there, check those out, and you should be good to go. Hopefully this is helpful. And again, please like and subscribe. Talk to you later. Bye.